How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its holiday sale right now. We've been uploading a couple videos of games under $10, but now it's time to look at some of the deals under $5. And yes, there's quite a few deals under $5 and quite a few great games you can pick up for $5. So we're gonna go over 10 games. Let's get right into it, and let's start things off with Supergiant Games' Bastion. It's 75% off for $3.74. Obviously, these days, Supergiant is best known for their excellent work on Hades, and Hades is a terrific game, still going for a more expensive price point at $20, but their debut title was Bastion, and it really put them on the map right out of the gate. It was a tremendous game, and back then, when Bastion initially came out, downloadable titles were still kind of few and far between, and especially premier downloadable titles that people saw at a high level, that wasn't really a norm. However, Bastion came out in 2011, and it really shocked a lot of people and showcased that downloadable games could be at an incredibly high level. And the great thing about Bastion is, yes, it came out a decade ago, but this game has just aged masterfully well. The presentation, the visual style is just a style that's gonna naturally age really, really well. The music is great, the gameplay is solid, the narration is so good, and the game itself is just a fantastic title. I would highly recommend you to check it out, especially if you've liked Supergiant's titles since then. If you played like Pyre or if you played Hades, go back and check out Bastion, see what all the fuss is about, and I'm sure you're gonna have a great time with it. Definitely a game worthwhile to pick up, especially at $3.74. Next up, we have Batman Return to Arkham. This is, of course, Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City, with both of the game's respective DLC content. Hey, the new Batman game, or excuse me, the new Batman movie is about to come out, obviously completely separate from this, but Return to Arkham is a pretty good collection. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are both my two favorite of the whole Arkham franchise. If we're throwing in Arkham Knight and even Arkham Origins, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are the ones I enjoy the most. Arkham Asylum is mostly a linear title. It does have, you know, areas where you can diverge from the beaten path, and, you know, there's a little exploration involved for sure. Arkham City takes it to more of an open world game. Both titles are excellent from a story standpoint. Visually, they're still solid, and the gameplay from a combat standpoint holds up really, really nicely. $5 for both games is an excellent deal, and ultimately, you should check out Arkham Knight as well. It's a great game in its own right, but $5 for this collection is an easy slam dunk pickup. Especially thinking about it, Arkham Asylum came out all the way back in 2009. It's been 13 years since that game has come out, more so 12 and a half years since I think it came out August of 09, but a lot of your guys' gaming tastes probably have evolved over that time, so maybe a game like Arkham Asylum would be more up your alley now than it would have been 12 and a half years ago when you were maybe so knee-deep into first-person shooters or whatever the case may be. But a Return to Arkham, $5, great pickup here. Next up, we have Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition, 75% off for $4.99. Yeah, you could say Shadow of War is a better game, and I would probably agree with you on that, but I still thought Shadow of Mordor was a tremendous game, and one of the first games of the PlayStation 4 era that I really, really enjoyed. The game itself has a slick action combat system, a lot of gruesome kills, story's pretty decent, and you've got a bit of content to go into. Is it the biggest open world game in the world? No. Open world games have kind of, you know, expanded beyond what Shadow of Mordor offers, but it's still got a healthy amount of content, and for $5, I think it's a great pickup, would strongly recommend it. Next up, we have Sleeping Dog, the Definitive Edition, which is 85% off for $4.49. Fantastic deal on another more contained open world action title here. Sleeping Dogs is often said to be like Grand Theft Auto in Hong Kong, and I vehemently disagree with that notion, just because, yes, it has that element of being an open world crime-oriented title. However, it's different in the sense that it has a more contained focus, a more mature story, and it has a focus on the hand-to-hand combat as well. It's very much different, but it's a very, very good game. I've always wanted to see Square Enix do a Sleeping Dogs 2. Will we ever get that? I don't know. Probably not at this stage of the game, but it's still a game that I think very, very highly of. And for $4.49, the Definitive Edition gets you a bunch of additional content, 24 available DLC packs, so $4.50 for that. Great pickup, strong recommendation here. Next up, we have Rayman Legends, 75% off for $4.99. Rayman is a franchise that I think is criminally underutilized by Ubisoft. You know, Ubisoft these days, they're going in the direction of a lot of games that they can monetize for the long term, and sure, from a business standpoint, they probably see that as a very effective strategy. However, Rayman, man, if you're a fan of high-quality platformers, Rayman is terrific, and Rayman Legends was excellent. A lot of content here as well for $4.99. If you're a fan of platformers, if you're just a fan of colorful games, if you want a game that anybody can really get into, this is a great one, and I would strongly recommend it. Again, hopefully someday Ubisoft decides to put more emphasis into Rayman as an IP, but today's not that day. But Rayman Legends for $5 is definitely a worthwhile pickup. Next up, we have Yakuza 0, 75% off for $4.99. Fantastic to see how much Ryuga Gotoku Studios has done over here in the West. I mean, Yakuza has been around for a very long time, and we've gotten a couple of the titles over here in the West. We got a lot of the games, but it wasn't really getting a lot of popularity. But now it seems like Yakuza has really found its stride, and a lot of people are picking it up, checking it out. And what is the best entry point? Well, that has to be Yakuza 0, a prequel to the very first Yakuza game, and a great entry point. The game has a lot of content, a variety in content, great story. Yes, it's not English dubbed, but the subs are great, and the game itself is at such a high level that I would give it a strong recommendation. Check it out. Start with this one and then work your way into the other games, and you'll have a good time and a ton of content if you want to get through everything. Like, you're talking about, you know, 7 Yakuza games. You're talking about Yakuza Like a Dragon after that. You're talking about the Judgment games if you want to get into that. There's a lot to get into, so it's quite an undertaking, but it's a fun undertaking, so I'd give it a strong recommendation. Next up, we have Playdead's Inside, which is 75% off for $4.99. A game that I think everybody should play. I think everybody should play the Playdead titles in general. They are just fantastic games, and this one, much like Limbo, a very dark, atmospheric platformer, very well designed, and it's a very engrossing game. Another one that for $4.99, a great pickup, and hopefully whatever Playdead's working on next, that will be up to par, because they've done a great job with Limbo and Inside. Next up, we have a Metroidvania title in SteamWorld Dig 2, which is down to $4.99. If you're a Plus subscriber, if you're not, it will be $6.99, but hopefully you're a Plus subscriber. SteamWorld Dig 2 is a great Metroidvania title that completely caught me blindsided. I remember when this game came out, and it was just getting 10 out of 10s from a lot of outlets. And SteamWorld Dig 1 was good, but it wasn't at that level. And SteamWorld Dig 2 is just a tremendous Metroidvania title. Again, a very colorful game, a healthy amount of content here as well. If you're a fan of Metroidvanias, $5 for this. Easy slam dunk. Next up, we have Transistor, which is 75% off for $4.99. Another Supergiant Games title. This was their second game, and a very good one as well. Not quite as good as Bastion in my opinion, but a very cool sci-fi action RPG with an interesting story. Very good gameplay as well. Interesting gameplay, I should say. Maybe some issues with it here and there, but from a presentation standpoint, art style is tremendous. Soundtrack is phenomenal in this one, and for $4.99, again, if you want a game with great aesthetic design, Supergiant is always going to give you your money's worth from that standpoint, and this one hits all the other bullets pretty well as well, so $4.99 for that great pickup. Lastly, do you want to give a shout to Strider, which is 80% off for $2.99. Yes, this is a remake of Capcom's Strider that was very popular back in the day, and Strider was a little bit before my time, but I had a fantastic time with Strider, this reboot or remake that came out back in 2014. I believe it was initially a PlayStation Plus game, but obviously that has since gone. But Strider's a great title that, if you're a fan of action platformers, you're gonna have a very enjoyable experience out of it. Side-scrolling action gameplay, decent visuals, and really does harken back to some of the old school action platformers that I enjoyed playing. Again, not necessarily Strider, because that's not a game that I really grew up with, but I really enjoyed this iteration of it. But that's going to do it for me. Again, a ton of great deals under the price of $5. Really can't go wrong with games this cheap. Links to everything in the description box below. As always, that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.